Hey everyone, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Boom Shikha. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about documenting everything. So you all of you probably have this one friend that is the worst. So you go out with this friend and you know that you're gonna get really drunk and you're gonna do something stupid. That's fine. Everyone does that. But you know with this friend, because they're such a social media whore, they're going to share all of these drunken photos of yourself and you're puking on the side of the street and all that funny stuff that you do when you are doing stupid things. You're going to share all that stuff on all of their platforms and you're going to see your video becoming viral over and over again. All these people seeing it, laughing at you, making comments about it. And you hate this person, right? They're the worst. Like, why? Why would you do that to me? Why are you doing this with me? Like, why? And so you don't want to hang out with this person, right? You don't want to hang out with you. You're really cautious. You're like, no, I think I'm going to not drink tonight if I'm going to hang out with you kind of thing, right? I'm afraid, I fear, that I think I'm becoming one of those people. And it's all Gary Vee's fault, or I should say it's just my fault, but that's what Gary Vee says about documenting everything. My mastermind group says to me that they feel like I'm recording everything that we're doing in the meeting, and then I do all these videos about it, I do a blog post about it, I do a podcast, I'll write a story about it, I'll do all of this content because I'm always watching and using everything in my life for my content. And the reason Gary Vee says that, I think, he says that document everything. So why would an entrepreneur do that? Well, haven't you watched those videos where they make something, where it's an artist and he's actually making his painting on video right in front of you, a time-lapse video, or it's like a wood crafter and he's making a piece of furniture right in front of you, or it might be I don't know, a videographer. He's actually making the video or editing it right in front of you. And you see all this stuff happening on these videos and you're fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by it, and most people are fascinated by it because we love watching the process. We like being with that person while they're working through the process, because perhaps we're never going to be a woodworker, we're never going to be a painter, we're never going to be a videographer. And so we want to see, what is it like? How does that person work? What did they do on their daily life? What kind of coffee do they drink? How do they wake up? What do they do in the morning? All that stuff, right? And as an entrepreneur, I'm sharing all this stuff. I'm sharing all the different things I do in my life, not only because it's easier to create content about stuff that's happening, it's easier to be creative that way, rather than create new stuff. If I'm making up stuff out of the ether, it's hard. But if I'm just writing about stuff that's happening on a daily basis, stuff that I've learned, stuff that I've grown about, stuff that I'm doing, stuff that I'm going to do, it's easy. It's so easy to create content on that. And so you can document everything and people can follow your journey. And so my journey is all about an entrepreneur, about a person who's a digital nomad, about a person who's a yogi, a spiritual, abundant human being, all that stuff, right? And so I'm sharing all this knowledge about all this stuff on all these different mediums. And my hope is that someone's going to look at it and they're going to think to themselves, God, she's an absolute idiot. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about or she's doing. If she can be an entrepreneur, I can be an entrepreneur. I can do it. I should start a business. And I'm hoping that kind of like thought process goes through your head. And if you've been wanting to be an entrepreneur for all this time, but you thought that it's not accessible to you, or it's not you can't do it, and you watch me bumbling my way through, like stumbling my way through all of this stuff, then you're thinking to yourself, I can do this. If she can do it, I can do it. And so you go start your domain name, and 6 months later, you're like a millionaire, right? Hopefully. Or not, but you've started at least something that you've been wanting to start forever. And that's my hope with all these videos, is that you look at it, you think, if she can do it, I can do that. I can share my journey, I can share what I'm doing, I can share my artistic journey, or whatever your journey might be, right? And so you can be that person, and that's what all of this sharing shows you. Then a person's actually creating a really complicated piece of work, a woodwork, a furniture, a painting. If I actually notice them going through the phases when they first start out to the point where they get to, obviously it's a very complicated process, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, they're awesome, they're really good. But it also makes it a little bit more accessible because I see from the beginning till the end, oh, okay, so they did this, and that's an easy small step to do, and then they did that, and that's again an easy small step to do. Each small step is broken down like all the steps are broken down into smaller steps, and you're able to look at it on the outside, and you're able to see that, it's doable. It's not about the big picture and about the final product, which looks really inaccessible, and you're thinking to yourself, I can never make that, I can never create that, I can never have that business. You look at all the people who are really successful, and you're thinking to yourself, no way could I ever get to that point, right? But then you see all these people who are documenting their journey, like me and like several other people, hundreds of people, and you see that and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, you know what, I can do that. I can share one live video a week in my group. I can create a Facebook group where I share stuff. I can, create images which I can share on Instagram. I can write a blog post a week or every 2 weeks. I can do that, So when you break it down into these small chunks, all of a sudden, all these people are looking at it and thinking to themselves, I can do that. And that's what I want from all these videos and all of this documentation, is that I want you to be able to look at it and say, this is accessible to me. I can do this. If she can do it in her bumbling way, I can do it too. I can do it too. That is what I want you guys to believe. That's what I want you guys to understand. That's what I want you guys to go into your businesses with. Because all of those end products are end products because they've been working on this forever and ever and ever. They've been working on it for 10 years now, 15 years, whatever it might be. They've been working on it forever. That's why it looks this way. But when you look at the journey, when they first started out, their stuff was shit. And that's how it's going to be for you, right? Again, though, what's happening is that I am becoming one of those friends that people don't want to hang out with because they're afraid that their stuff is going to be shared online. I always make sure, and that's one of the things that I should definitely share with you, is that if I'm sharing something about a person, especially if it's negative, then I do not share that person's name. It's always anonymous. Even if I'm sharing something positive, I have to be really careful because people are very private. And that's another one of the unfortunate things about a lot of people is that they can't go on this journey as I'm going on it. Even though I was one of the most private people on this planet, I swear to God, I had such a hard time sharing stuff. But I'm getting obviously more comfortable with it because of practice. But there's so many people on this planet who are so tight about their stuff. They don't want to share anything. Everything is so precious to them. No, I'm not going to share that. I'm going to put stuff on YouTube, but it's going to be unlisted. Or I'm going to have an Instagram profile, but it's going to be private, so no one can see my stuff. And all that stuff. And so they're always so private with their stuff. For them, especially, this is really important. For them to share everything, document everything, in small baby steps. Because this is the world that we're kind of moving into. If you want to be an entrepreneur in this world, in this new world, you have to be obviously on social media. But what are you going to share on social media? You can't share motivational quotes all the time. That's boring. You can't always be sharing stuff that is, other people's stuff. You want to create your own stuff. You want to write about yourself. You don't always want to write 10 ways to get ahead kind of thing. Like, those are boring posts. If you write about how you almost were at the point of committing suicide because you lost all your money, that's the kind of post that people want to read because that is documenting your journey. Because there are 100 other people out there, 1,000 other people who are in the same position as that. They're on the point of committing suicide. 800,000 people actually commit suicide every year. Again, a few of them might be because of entrepreneurship. And so if you share that journey, maybe that person will read that and decide, okay, you know what? If this person got over it, I can get over it. I can get over it because this person got over it. And because they're not anything special. They're exactly like me. They're exactly like me. And if they're exactly like me, I can do it too. Tim Ferriss actually did that. He shared his own thing about how he was going to commit suicide when he was in his 20s, I think. He was having a hard time at school or university, and so he was thinking about it. And he shared that post, and hundreds of thousands of people obviously read it, and a lot of people who were probably thinking about it perhaps didn't take that step. Perhaps they went and sought help or whatever it might be. So that's why we're doing this journey. That's why I'm doing this entrepreneurial journey, is because I want people to look at it and be like, okay, you know what, I can do this. I can start my business. I can do it slow, just like she's doing it. Maybe I can move to Chiang Mai so I can reduce my expenses. Maybe I can document my journey as well. Maybe I can start right now by documenting how I'm working while my baby's sleeping right next to me, or how like my cat is always sitting on my desk so I can never get my work done because I don't want to move her. Things like that, like little things like that matter. Little things like that are the ones that are going to bond you to your fans. It's going to bond you to all those people who are watching your stuff. When I'm being fake, no one wants to watch my shit, right? When I'm being authentic, when I'm talking about my stuff, when I'm talking about my fears, my doubts, my anxieties, and all those days where I just want to stop and go back to an easier life, and I just want to give it all up and go back to a 9 to 5, all that stuff matters. And it bonds me. It bonds me to all these people who are watching it. It bonds me to my fans, to these people who are eventually going to be my clients, or they're just going to be my friends. And that's what I'm building. I'm building my true fan base, right? But in order to do that, I need to break open a little bit. I need to stop building this wall in front of me, and I need to break apart, show my heart a little bit, put it out there for people to see. Look at it. Look at my heart. Look at what I'm showing you. Look at all these different things in it. Look at the black parts. Look at the dark parts. Look at the shadow parts. Look at the horrible parts. Look at the good parts. Look at all of it. And this is what I am. And so that is what connects me to people. That's what connects entrepreneurs to people in this new world that we live in. You can't live behind a private wall anymore. You have to share your stuff. You have to unlist it. You have to make it public. You have to go out there to be that person that's able to share stuff with them. Or, you start losing friends because you're sharing too much. You're sharing when you went to poop. You're sharing what your poop was like. You're sharing too much. So obviously there's a balance, right? You don't share all of it. Don't share all of the spit that your baby came up with, or don't share all the mucus that is in your life. Don't share that crap. Share the good stuff. Share the authentic stuff. Share the stuff that really matters, right? Because if you do that, then you're going to get that fan base building. Again, as I said though, I think people don't want to hang out with me anymore because they're thinking to them, if I hang out with her, my story is going to be on some social media site somehow. And so when I'm walking through the street and I see someone that I know, they're looking at me, they're like, shit, oh God, that's Shikha. I don't want to actually see her, because if I say something without thinking about it, she's going to put it on her blog, or she's going to put it on her podcast. And so they kind of avoid me. And that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur, maybe. With all those MLMs, a lot of people are like, oh no, she's selling that stuff. I don't want to talk to her. That's the price you pay, kind of, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to have 1 billion friends? Or do you want to have a business that you're really, really proud of? Make and choose. Also, I'm obviously exaggerating. There are a lot of people who are happy to share stuff. Also because I'm mostly sharing it anonymously. I never use people's names unless I know they're going to be comfortable with it. And so I hope that you guys will get something out of this. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Let me know what you guys think about it. I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. And thank you so much for listening. I hope that you'll be able to join my team at patreon.com/boomshikha. I'll talk to you guys next time around. Bye for now.